Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Nathan and today I'm going to be discussing some big news. Kreider extending with the New York Rangers and Igor Shesterkin and Pavel Buchnevich being involved in a car accident. Now, trade deadline day so far in the NHL has been anything but boring. We've seen a lot of action so far, and Kreider is now off the trade market and officially signed to a new deal, as well as getting new info surrounding Buchnevich, Shesterkin, and what they were doing in this past week and what they got into. So, what is the contract details on Kreider's deal? What is going on with Shesterkin and, of course, Buchnevich? And what do I think of all this new info? Watch till the end for all my opinions, and of course hit that subscribe button if you're new. Now we're first going to talk about the Kreider extension, and this one that just absolutely pains me. So when it comes to the contract details, Kreider, before I get into my opinions, has signed a 7-year deal at $6.5 million. That'll take him from the trade market and arguably being the most likely player to be traded from being re-signed to the New York Rangers until he's I'm pretty sure it would take him until he's 34, 35. So in his mid-30s at that point. Now getting into my opinions, and I've expressed this quite a bit in the past. If the New York Rangers signed him to a 7-year deal, I would have been really mad. But if they were able to get him to under $6 million, I would have been okay with it. I still would have preferred to trade him because I think that's the best for their direction of the rebuild and the retool and using the young guys. But they did the worst thing possible. They signed him to a 7-year deal and it's 6.5. Are you kidding me? Now let's be real for a moment. If Kreider were to go into free agency, he likely would get more than that. He wanted to stay in New York, and the New York Rangers want to keep him apparently. And this deal is official, 7 years at 6.5. Oh my gosh. Again, I made a video 2 days ago explaining that under no circumstances is 7 years good, and 6.5, dude. I mean, I would have been okay with 6 or under, but 6.5, it's just a deal that is kind of rough in my opinion. And New York has signed their big guys in the past. You got Panarin, who's working out pretty amazingly, but I really don't think Kreider is going to age as well, and I don't think he's going to be the guy who will be amazing in 3 or even 4 years in this deal, to be honest. He's a guy that physically, that kind of style of game, is a guy that is prone to decline very hard. When you give a guy that kind of money as for 7 years, I mean, Kreider has said that he wanted to stay in New York. How did he get so much money? New York, how did you give him that kind of money? I mean, sure, yes, he was asking for it, but at that point, with the amount of stuff they could have had on the market, I personally would have traded him. And I can get not wanting to trade him because I like Kreider as a player, and he's a very good player when he's on his game, and he has been on his game this year for the most part for the New York Rangers. But again, 7 years is terribly risky. Even if you got him for like $5 million, I still wouldn't love that contract because of that length. And then you go on to $6.5 million territory, and to me, that's just a yikes. I just don't want to take that on. To a team that needs as much cap as possible this year, not even talking about the guys that need to be signed like Tony DeAngelo. How are we going to be able to sign DeAngelo? Ryan Strome. How is that going to be able to happen? I thought we were keeping both of those guys. Personally, I would have traded Ryan Strome too because he's probably not going to replicate that production. But I don't know what's going to happen now. Like, do you trade Henrik Lundqvist because of that now? I guess that would have to be the case because for New York, they really don't have too many other options. Now, personally, I don't like the deal. I would have liked lower term, lower salary, but I'm obviously not the New York Rangers, and I can't decide what happens. But I don't think it's going to be that great of a deal in year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7. I think by that time, Kreider will be past his prime, and the decline will start to show. But getting into a situation that's a lot more interesting, in my opinion, somehow, some way, we go to the car accident situation involving Igor Shesterkin and Pavel Buchnevich. Now, once we got word of the Kreider situation and the Kreider extension, we saw this news come out about them both getting into a car accident just a few days ago on Sunday, or yesterday, really. And that is interesting because it wasn't too serious, thankfully. For Shesterkin, he will be evaluated in 2 weeks, and Buchnevich right now is a day-to-day. He was the passenger in that, but they both were involved in a car accident. Thankfully, though, none of them had really crazy injuries. The worst was Shesterkin with a broken rib, but thankfully they are both okay and will be back in the next few days, at least in Buchnevich's case. And there was a little bit of rumors earlier in the day when a press conference was announced that there might be something bad, that it might not be Kreider, it might be something like that. And I think there was rumor that there was a car accident or something. I initially saw that, I'm like, okay, please, let's not have anybody die today. That would be really, really awesome if that didn't happen. And thankfully, that's not the case. Both guys are not good to go, but they both will be injured for the next few days, but they haven't sustained any serious injuries, which is the real big thing there. Again, car accidents are always crazy, and you never know what will happen. Thankfully, though, for Shesterkin, who's a stud, and Buchnevich, who is also pretty amazing, they both will be back in the next month. And in Shesterkin's case, it will take a while, likely a couple of weeks, but he will be okay. But of course, with this video, I need to hear y'all's thoughts down in those comments down below. Let me know what you think about this Chris Kreider's extension. Do you like it? Do you not? And let me know your thoughts about the term and the money, and also about the Shesterkin and Buchnevich situation. What you think about the craziness of that as well. Share this video with your friends. Get the info, get the knowledge out there, boys. And of course, if you're stopping by and are already watching, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Of course, click this card to watch all of my trade rumor videos right in one place, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Goodbye.